Hello there, Happy New Year. I apologise if you can't hear me very well. I'm going to turn off all the shit so we can hear. Turn them off as well. Sorry about that, yeah. I just thought while I had a couple of minutes I'd make a video. So I'm back in the UK now. I got back last night. And last night, Christ, I haven't slept yet, that's the problem. I've been kind of away for the longest time. So hopefully it hasn't felt like I've been too far away. I think I left in the end of October, beginning of November, end of October, I can't remember when. And I basically haven't really been back since. And even now, I've only got 2 days here, and I'm away. And then I'm away again after that. And then I've got an Iceland trip booked for 2 months. There's a lot of shit going on in other countries at the moment. But there's some really good things that came out of it. So when I went to New York, and specifically Newark, I found someone who can head up the American side of Hurt. It's an old friend of mine who I used to be in a band with him a long time ago. He's still in a band now, but he's going to be given bulk numbers of albums so that he can send albums to listeners from the States, so that there's not going to be an immediate 1 week gap between you ordering and you buying, you ordering and you receiving. Instead, you ordering and you receiving is going to be far quicker because it's not coming from the UK. And vice versa, we're doing it so that the merchandise is we now have a UK merchandise hub in Guildford in the UK, which I went to see when I came back from Russia the first time. But yeah, so there's now kind of an international contingent of her, which is exciting. It's not going to start right away because we have to get records to this person, and that's a pain in the arse. But because there's a lot of them, like it's a freight pallet, whatever that means, worth of CDs. I think it's about 150,000 CDs of all the different CDs. You know, is there 6 of them now? I can't remember. 5 of them, physical CDs. And that person has to stock their own shirts as well. So there's been money gifted to develop he's got like a big triple garage. Americans seem to have these things, these triple garages, and I've given him some funding to insulate it and keep it heated throughout the year, you know, so that there's no damage to any of the product in any way. So it's great because I trust him implicitly. He's just been let go from, the end of last year he was let go from his job. It's 2018 now. End of last year, like November, he was let go from his job. Actually quit from his job, and has nothing to do. So this is something to do, and it should work quite well. So that was that. And then I came back, and I've also found a studio in New York, which I'm very, very into. I'm trying to find a house in New York. It doesn't have to be New York. I loved Denver. I love Santa Monica. I love California. But New York just feels, because I lived in New York for a little bit, like 6 months, so I know it. I know a specific area of it, but I know it, and it kind of feels like home. I think I'd be able to deal quite well with being out there. And there was a place that came up in the market. Gave them an offer. They rejected it. I gave them the offer of full asking price. They rejected it, so they were being a bit greedy, and I don't like that. So I didn't do that. But I would like to find somewhere there because there is this not abandoned, but just unoccupied studio space, which is fucking huge, and it would be really cool to own that place. It's been there for something like 85 years. It's got a little bit of history to it. A few artists that I love have recorded there, and it would be nice to get my claws in it. I don't know what's going to happen at the moment. And then I've just been in France, but before that I went to Russia, Chechnya technically, with a guy called Aaron and AJ, they aren't their real names, but they're the names they use on this press release that's coming out soon, and they're from Warchild. And we went out there. I had a different name. I have 2 names every year anyway. My name, by the way, my name right now, I can't get used to it. It's like I change my name twice a year. and various stati in the UK, so that just because I've always done it, I always change once a year first name and surname, and then the second time a year surname, because that's legally all you can get away with. But I always do it twice a year, and it's a pain in the ass because, like, passports, because I've been travelling a lot, passports take a fucking shitload of time to get now, which they never used to. It's just irritating shit that comes with changing your name all the time. But I can't get used to it. And so I got more used to this fake name that I was using in Russia than I can with the name I fucking have now. I've had it for like, what, over 6 months now. Because I'm due for a name change on the 22nd of this month. Anyway, doesn't matter. But it's hard work, this name, because it just sounds like it's foreign. I can't get used to it. Someone picked it for me and it's become a penance. So anyway, we went out to Chechnya. Well, they don't call it Chechnya anymore when you're traveling with Russian interpreters, but for the sake of this, Chechnya, and it's widely contested now. It's contested land. There's huge landmine issues there, and right now there is, or has just been, a genocide of epic proportions that is completely non-reported. So it's going to get graphic now, and I apologise for that because I'm getting really emotional thinking about it, but it's important. If you don't want to hear about this, don't listen. It's not that graphic, but how can I start this without being weird? I'm good around dead bodies. I was going to say I'm very good around dead, but that sounds really creepy. I once dated a girl when I was just leaving school, whose parents owned what do they call this? The mortuary in the States, funeral home. Yeah. And not, they prepared the bodies and they used to drain the bodies. Now the hospitals sometimes do that, but they used to drain the bodies and prepare them. And it was the first time I saw a dead body. It was horrendous. I don't have any family, so it's not. I've never known, like, no one around me has ever died, and I've never seen a dead body before that moment. And in the space of about a year, I saw 200 dead bodies, and was helping handle dead bodies and everything. After a while, you just forget. Like, it's not an issue until I went to Chechnya, where, okay, this has to be all under wraps, by the way. As a war child, haven't been to Chechnya. I haven't been to Chechnya. I trust you not to fuck this up. We went there and we saw, really oddly, Ukrainian government officials. This is how weird it is over there. Because I don't know if you know what's going on over there. Ukrainian government officials with JCBs digging out mass child graves from last year. And I say mass, I'm talking about hundreds. And this is just one of them. So potentially there are thousands of dead people, but this was children. And that was different. That was very difficult because it was from babies to 11-year-olds, 12, not really teenagers, nothing that old, but this was children. And one lot had been taken just from a school, shot by this grave and thrown into the grave, and that was it. And it's unreported, like completely unreported. Could you imagine if that had happened in any other country? I mean, even countries with dominions over them, like Africa, if that happened in Africa, we would have known, potentially would have known. I mean, look what happens when Boko Haram took all those girls. Like, we knew about that instantly. This would be reported, but it's not reported. And the thing is, like, we spent, not even a week, 5 days there with travelling, and I got to meet Russians who were lovely, Ukrainians who were lovely, And if they could just, I mean, look at the result of what's happening. And with these kids, I didn't even understand it, because it wasn't even like, it didn't make sense to anyone there why this was happening. Anyway, so there's footage. We each had a small lapel camera, which is completely covert. No one would have known. No one did know. Thank fuck no one knew, because I don't think we would have made it out alive, honestly. At the point of which we were going past Russian checkpoints, I don't think we would have made it out alive if we were caught with that shit on us. And we kept it on us because when it's on you, it's the least obvious thing. When it's in your bag, there's these wires and shit, and they would figure out that there's a camera. But when it's on you, there is no, you would never really know. It looks like a button, and they had it so that it matched my buttons. In fact, they took my buttons out of my jacket and made it fit into my button, which is amazing. Like, I've never had that before, obviously. But just, I mean, War Child, I've been to a few places with War Child before, slightly more, I've never seen child death before, and that was very, very difficult to see. And so War Child, legally or not legally, I mean, they would never be allowed to put kind of aids. The idea of War Child is that in certain areas of the world they grant aid packages, not only aid packages, but they take over buildings in towns and they become like refuge centres where you can go get treatment. Children will be brought there and be given treatment for things, and you know, brought up to strength before they let go again. Like, it's a really important fucking place. And I've been to one before, which was just unreal, in Palestine, and it was incredible. Like, just the care and attention these people offer, who are volunteers, by the way. These are all volunteers. None of these people are paid. None of the people that went with me, I wasn't paid, they weren't paid. They're all volunteers trying to help children around the world. And it's not just children, actually, but because it's War Child, the predominant, and because they're so defenseless. Children are, you know, War Child are the arbiters of protecting children. But it was really, it's something I will remember on my deathbed. Like, it was one of the most horrendous sights I've ever seen. Like, watching, so they think that these children, they think this happened in September, so fairly recent. But even so, like, since September, there was no funerals. These kids, there were no coffins. They were just thrown in the dirt and covered over, so their bodies are eaten away a bit. And it was really bad. And so when we came back, I wrote a cheque to War Child, £250,000, to help set up an aid station just outside. This is a kind of secret aid station just outside of where we were. I won't say exactly where we were. I don't think I have. Just outside of where we were, that will be kind of run as a community youth centre. It will look like a community youth centre for all other people. But the problem is that what we were talking about yesterday is that community youth centres, schools, they're the places that are targeted, because that's going to be a group of kids in one place that will no longer be a group of kids in one place. Now, I don't understand the politics of what's going on. I mean, I do, but it's so fucking mental, and it is mental. There are such just abhorrent points of views on both sides that I don't give a fuck about the politics. If it's not about the politics of it, there's innocent children, men and women dying, and so I want to help in any way possible. So even from the her compilation thing, to my own donations, to donations of my friends who have, you know, some sort of wealth, we're trying now to help on ground level some of these affected villages and towns. And I'm going back there in 10 days, on the 12th. Yeah, 10 days. I'm going back there only for a week, just to kind of, the idea is to try and find somewhere now that will be ideal for this. And before December, I didn't know any of this was happening. Like, I had no idea any of this was happening. I got sent like an email saying, would I mind coming with these people? I'm going to turn that off because someone's messaging me, sorry. Hope you can't hear that. I got an email saying there's a crisis. And as one of these people, I've donated fairly heavily in the past to War Child, and because I love it, I think they're amazing. And to all the kind of main donators, a big blast was sent out saying we need volunteers. So I said, because I wasn't doing anything particular, I knew I was going to be back from the States and not have anything really before the new year to think about. I said yes, and so it was as easy as that, and we went. And like, it's one of those things I really wish I hadn't gone. At the same time, I would never ever not go now. Like, if they need help, like, I'm the one saying, when are we going back? Like, 'cause like, I'm seeing kids, like kids without parents now because their parents have been killed, just living on the streets. Not okay with it. Like, I'm not good with that at all. So I will go back there as many times as I have to until things are better. And I don't know if I'm particularly helpful out there because I get so fucking angry. Like, I see, not just with the horrible stuff you have to see, but with the attitudes of people. I remember that we're there not undercover really, but we're there not as ourselves. So I have to hold my tongue, and I'm not someone who holds his tongue at all. And so it's very, it's a morally ambiguous place to go. And the problem is, if people hold their tongues, this shit keeps going on. But if you don't hold your tongue gets cut out. So, I mean, that is as simple as it is, really. So, I won't keep talking about this, sorry, I didn't mean to bring this up, really. So, plans for her, just very quickly. Z1 to Z3 are now complete. Z3 has now been mastered and is now being produced. So, Z2 has a release date of the 2nd of February 2018. Z3 now has a release date, which is going to be coming out soon, and now I'm moving on to Z4. Z4, all the songs are complete, I just need to record them properly. The drums have all been done. No, the drums are being tweaked a bit now, but the drums, a majority are done, and it's very, very different from the other albums. But there is news regarding Z, which I don't know how I'm going to, I think I know how I'm going to release that. That news will come out the day that the acoustic album comes out for Z, which again is finished. So I'm almost done. I have till the 26th of January to finish Z4. That way, if I finish Z4 before the 26th of January, then I'll have done 4 albums in 1 year. And that is the task. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because I'm away again now, but that would be so cool to have done 4 albums in 1 year. If not, 3 albums in 1 year. It's not too bad either. So I mean, they're proper albums as well. There's no like holding back. That was fucking hard work, and I'm really happy that it's coming your way soon. And then, as I said, I'm going to Iceland for 2 months, and the reason I'm going to Iceland is to record the next album for Diplomat. There's a thing I do called Diplomat, and I've got some things in mind, and a lot of information has come through last year that I think needs to be shared. So I will do that, and talk about people cutting out your tongues. But yeah, that's what I'd like to do, because I think that it's important work as well, very important, maybe more important, I don't know at this point. But anyway, so that's the plan for Iceland, and there's another reason I'm going down to Iceland as well. But while I'm there, I'm going to be recording the second Diplomat album, which I'm very excited for. And that's it. I think that's it. Is there anything else? There's nothing else planned, because 4 albums in 1 year was a lot. Very excited to finish the 5 albums, really, if you an acoustic thing. It is an album. But that's a lot of music, and I was gonna say I need a rest, but Diplomat's not a rest. Fuck me. That's like, it's something else, but no rest for the evil. Anyway, I hope you're all well. Hope you had a very good New Year's. Fuck Christmas. And if not, then I hope you have a better year this year. If you didn't get everything you wanted last year, like if you didn't accomplish all of your dreams, then it's because you didn't work hard enough. That's all it is. I don't like people who moan to me about not being able to accomplish certain things. And what was the guy saying the other day? What was that guy saying to me? Who was it? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. I can't remember now. It's the problem when you get old, your memory goes. I remember like thinking when I was like 18, I thought if I ever got near to 40, I would throw myself in the ocean. Just be done with it. But you don't. You just keep going. I'm only talking about that because I can't think of the other thing I'm trying to think about. What was I saying? Oh, resolutions. Because people have been texting me. Is that a thing this year? People texting each other resolutions? I hope not, because it's shit. But people have been texting me their resolutions, and it's like, some guy said he wants to have sex more. Brilliant. That's great. I wish you well with that. But just very odd resolutions. And I always think people are weird with resolutions. Like, if you're going to pick a resolution, don't pick something specific that can falter. Like, if you want to do more exercise, don't say I want to walk a mile every day, because the one day you don't walk a mile will break that kind of loop of integrity, and you won't do it anymore. So you just say I want to exercise more. Just like if you make them slightly broader, they're far more accomplishable. Like if you make them so specific that if you do break them under, the people who want to eat less, like that, or people who don't want to eat, like, what do they call it, like sweets or whatever they have here. Like, just if you want to eat sweets, candy, what the fuck do they call it in English? Sweets, yeah. If you want to eat less sweets, brilliant. But if you just if someone gives you one and you forget, oh fuck, I've broken my New Year's resolution. That's not how it works. You have to make it broader than that, I think, and you have to say, I want to eat healthier, and then whatever you do that's healthier, and maybe you'll do more than normal, but whatever you do that's healthier will be beneficial. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about now, so I'm gonna go. Cheers. 10 days of hurt presents are being sent out tomorrow, probably. I'm too tired today. I'm doing that myself. So if you like the packaging, it's all done by me. It's brilliant. Because I don't do anything. I'm really bad at all of it. Like, I used to write address labels when we used to write them. Do we still write them? I don't even know if we still write them. But I used to do it when we used to write them, because I have quite neat handwriting when I want to. Like, you know, you do like a posh voice when you're on the phone, but I've got like posh handwriting when I'm trying to do it posh. So I did that and then gave up on that, because if I had to send the CDs myself every day, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. So fortunately there are people around me who are unemployed, who are able to do that with fairly legible handwriting, hopefully. Anyway, I'm rambling. So, but those presents coming out in the next no, tomorrow they'll be sent out. Apparently only 9 people got questions right, which means that one of the questions was so hard that no one could answer it. And I want to know what question that was, because I mean there were questions on there that I came up with a couple of them, but I found them to be tricky. And even there was one of them where Callum had to reinforce the fact that it was the correct answer. I was like, are you sure this is right? Like, because I definitely was thinking of something else. And he said, yep, like, here's the proof. And I was like, oh, right, okay. Because you're dealing with someone who has a flawless memory here. I remember everything, all the time. Definitely didn't forget one of my relatives' names the other day. And someone I've known for, UK relatives, so 27 years, who brought me up, just completely forgot their name. So I'm terrible with names. Like, I think everyone in the universe should have a name tag, because I'm terrible at that, really bad. Then if everyone had a name tag, like at the Z events, everyone should wear a name. Mind you, I know all of your names. I think I could probably go down a lineup and say, that's Siobhan, that's Erica, that's Daniela, Kurt, Christine, Angela. Wait, Angela and Erica. Sorry, no, you're Erica. That's... Oh, fuck it. Just everyone have name tags, because this is something I've made up in my mind and I can't figure it out. So yeah, goodbye.